or not, we run, skip with the flow, feeling the rhythm, the bounce, remind me, wacha kulala, changamka kiasi, haya basi, up and away we go, from the bottom we rise, look at the light in our eyes, see it, believe it, I see no lies, fast though. Ready or not, we run, skip with the flow, feeling the rhythm, the bounce, remind me, wacha kulala, changamka kiasi, haya basi, up and away we go, from the bottom we rise, look at the light in our eyes, see it, believe it, I see no lies, fast though. Ready or not, we run, skip with the flow, feeling the rhythm, the bounce, remind me, wacha kulala, changamka kiasi, haya basi, up and away we go, from the bottom we rise, look at the light in our eyes, see it, believe it, I see no lies, fast though. Ready or not, we run, skip with the flow, feeling the rhythm, the bounce, remind me, wacha kulala, changamka kiasi, haya basi, up and away we go, from the bottom we rise, look at the light in our eyes, see it, believe it, I see no lies, fast though. Ready or not, we run, skip with the flow, feeling the rhythm, the bounce, remind me, wacha kulala, changamka kiasi, haya basi, up and away we go, from the bottom we rise, look at the light in our eyes, see it, believe it, I see no lies, fast though. Ready or not, we run, skip with the flow, feeling the rhythm, the bounce, remind me, wacha kulala, changamka kiasi, haya basi, up and away we go, from the bottom we rise, look at the light in our eyes, see it, believe it, I see no lies, fast though. Ready or not, we run, skip with the flow, feeling the rhythm, the bounce, remind me, wacha kulala, changamka kiasi, haya basi, up and away we go, from the bottom we rise, look at the light in our eyes, see it, believe it, I see no lies, fast though. Ready or not, we run, skip with the flow, feeling the rhythm, the bounce, remind me, wacha kulala, changamka kiasi, haya basi, up and away we go, from the bottom we rise, look at the light in our eyes, see it, believe it, I see no lies, fast though. Ready or not, we run, skip with the flow, feeling the rhythm, the bounce, remind me, wacha kulala, changamka kiasi, haya basi, up and away we go, from the bottom we rise, look at the light in our eyes, see it, believe it, I see no lies, fast though.
Hi, good afternoon. Hello everyone. My name is Aisha Makusini. I'm a service designer at Marathon, and today I will be speaking about the cross section between service design and social impact. So, before we start, I want us to build a framework, and the first activity towards the framework is to think about a social issue that affects either your local community or that you see affects people in the world as a whole. So the first block of our framework is social issues, and just think about it for about a minute and have it at the back of your mind as we go through the presentation. So what is service design and social impact? I'm going to do an overview of that now. So what is service design? It's something that's not very common or a lot of people know about. Service design is a multidisciplinary approach of creating end-to-end delightful end-to-end experience. It encompasses the people you are building the service for or designing the service for, the people that are going to provide the service, and the environment where the service is going to be used and perceived or is going to be designed or developed. Service design touches both the physical and the digital touch points, both in the front end and in the back end. The principles that govern service design are quite, but I'm going to focus on the four major ones today. The first principle is human centeredness. When you are designing for people, you have to put them in the center of what you're designing for. This includes the experience of all the people that are going to be affected by the service, both the people that are using it and the people that are going to provide the service. The second important approach is the holistic approach. Since your service is not going to be used in isolation, you have to think about all the different ecosystems and all the different systems, policies, organizations that are going to be involved. Sorry, that are going to be involved in the service that you're creating or designing. And the other very important one is co-creation. You are going to have people that are going to use your service, and you're going to have people that are going to develop them. You need to prioritize the relationship between those two people and create a synergy between them so that they can work together and create a solution that is useful and relevant and desirable for them. The last one, which is also very, very important, is iteration. When you're designing for people, you need to listen to them, listen to what they're saying, and refine your designs or your ideas. With this in mind, we are going to go to the second activity about building our social impact framework. Now that you have a social issue that you want to solve for or that you would like to solve for as a designer, who are the people that are going through the social issues? Who are the people that are involved? It might be, for example, the people that are going through the issues. We have the people that are going to solve for those issues. We have people like the government that are going to create policies that will affect that issue as well. And what are the different touch points that this issue has? For example, if your social issue is homelessness, the people firstly that are going to be involved are the people that are going through homelessness or are suffering from that issue. You also have landlords, for example, that are building houses that people can afford to live in. You have the government that have the possibility to create policies that can lead to the building of the low-cost housing that people that don't have a lot of money can get. You also have charity organizations that work with people that are homeless. For example, some organizations build hostels for people that are homeless that they can stay maybe for a long or a short time. Now we're going to move to social impact itself. What is social impact? You can think of social impact as anything that has the consequences to affect people, the way they live, the way they function, the way they relate to other people, or the way they relate to the community as a whole. There are 5 major types of social impact. We have the lifestyle impact. This is the impacts that will affect the way people, it will affect their behavior, it will affect their relationships, it will affect the way they live. We also have quality of life or amenity impact. This affects people's sense of security, it affects their livability, it affects their sense of having a future. For example, a quality of impact can be war, it can be migration. We have health impacts, which affect people's physical health, their physical well-being, their social health, their mental health. For example, we have cultural impact, which affects people's beliefs, their values, their customs. And finally, we have community impact, which affects the infrastructure in the community, the different systems in the community, the different networks in the community. Within the different types of social impact, we have the Maslow's hierarchy of need that prioritize human necessity or human needs based on the basic ones to more higher self-actualization. As a designer, when you're designing for social impact, you need to prioritize the basic human necessity first before you go to other ones. If you do it this way, you are going to be able to enhance people's lives or the community life more comprehensively. You're not going to start with things that people don't necessarily need. For example, again, if the issue is homelessness, you can't start by solving for something that doesn't affect that issue first. You need to first address the homelessness first, and later you can begin to improve on that. Now that we have, or we know the types of impact and the places that they can be, and the way they can be placed on the hierarchy of need, ask yourself, what does your what type of what type of impact does your social issue have, and where does it fall in the hierarchy? By looking at this in this bit by bit sequence, you are able to have a holistic view of not just your social issues, not just the people that you're solving for, but the people that are going to be affected. You're also going to know how to prioritize your solution for these people. Now we are going to go to the cross section where social impact and design meets. Like I said in the beginning, there are 4 key principles of service design. Now we are going to see how this principle can affect the way you design for social issues, or you design when you're trying to design for social good, or you're trying to make social changes. For the human-centeredness part, you have to consider every single person, not in individual words, all the people that are going to come in direct or indirect contact with the issue that you're designing for. For example, still using homelessness, you have to consider the experience of the people that are experiencing homelessness at the moment. You have to consider the government's policies. You have to consider the landlord's environment as a whole. You also have to involve people of different backgrounds, people of different perspectives, people of different identity, because one solution might not work across different diverse backgrounds. You need to understand the needs and the challenges of the people that you're designing for. You can't create a solution that does not fit the need or does not fit the challenge of people that you're designing for. That would be a waste. You also have to consider the effect of the social issue and the effect of your ideas on not just human beings, but also on other life forms like the environment, the climate, plants, animals. If you are still using homelessness, if you are going to design solutions, the housing or the thing you're going to design, maybe it's housing, maybe it's policies, you need to put into consideration properties that are durable, that are good for the environment, that are not harmful to plants or animals, etc. The second principle, which is very important, is co-creation, collaboration, or co-designing. This is not just designing for people. You have to bring them into your process. You have to involve them because they are the ones that are going through that issue. They know where it's most difficult for them and the solution that will fit best the challenges for the problem they have. You need to prioritize their voice, elevate their voice and their contribution alongside the contributions of the professionals that will be building upon the solutions that you have created. You also need to prioritize context and the feedback from the community so that the solution that you have created is relevant to that context of that community and it is also useful for them. The third principle is the holistic approach. Like I have said, when you are designing, you can't just design a solution. You have to put into consideration all the policies, underlying processes, existing solutions, even if they exist, so that you can have a better understanding of what you're designing for. You need to focus also on all the touch points, the channels of interaction that is involved in the solution, or what you're building for. Some social issues have interdependencies. For example, poverty can be interdependent on homelessness. You need to look at that and consider the relationship between those issues and how they will affect one another. You need to understand that, like I said, one social issue can affect another. If you suffer homelessness, you might help people get, if you suffer poverty, you might in a way suffer for homelessness because when people have more money, then they can begin to look for housing or better housing. And you need to identify the opportunities between these relationships. And finally, we go to iteration. As you are designing or as you are thinking about designing, you need to gather feedback from the professionals. that are going to do this, and expect, most importantly, the people that you're designing for. Their feedback is one of the most important things that you need to get, and you need to use the feedback to refine your solution or prototype it better or test it better. Now that we have the different principles and how we can use them when we're designing for social impact, I want you to think again about your issue, the people you're designing for, the different touch points, the type of impact it is, the type of needs it is, and now all of that put together, think of the way you can leverage service design principles to design for that issue. Now we are going to go to the design. When you're designing for social impacts or when you're designing to solve social issues, there's not just one way, there are multiple ways that you can design. Those are it's called the levers of change. The first lever is to create a new product or a new service. This can include if your problem is maybe climate change or plastic waste, you can design better bottles or reusable bottles to combat that problem. If you're not designing something new, you can collaborate with people that have existing solution and innovate what you have. For example, there are so many reusable bottles. You can, if you have an idea where you can make it better, you can reach out to the creator of those solutions and innovate with them. You can also design to create awareness for the issue. If it's war, you can create awareness about why war is not good for the climate, it's not good for human life, how it's going to adversely affect migration, things like that. You can create awareness. You can also design for legal action and regulation. For example, you can design a boycott system against organizations or people that are responsible for the social issue that you are solving for. Again, if the example is war, you can create a boycott system against organizations that sell weapons or the people that are in charge of funding the war that you want to solve for. And finally, another way is to design for political pressure. You can design campaigns that are going to be signed by people around the world that will push politicians or government officials to create law or regulation that will affect positively your social issue. Now, again, we are going to add to our framework the levels of change that we have talked about to solve our social issue. Now, it's not easy to design for social issues because there's a couple of challenges. The first challenge is the complexity of social issues. I mentioned earlier that social issues often have interdependencies, and all these interdependencies coming together may make it difficult to find one solution that will work. And also, they're also multi-factor. Homelessness can be due to poverty. It can be due to larger population. It can be due to many factors. So you have to figure out the different complexities, the different interdependencies, and the different factors that are going to plague that are plaguing the social issues and how you're going to and how you're going to conduct it. The other challenge is cultural sensitivity. Because you're designing for a large population, there are going to be diverse practices, diverse nuances. You also need to have a good understanding of all these diversities and nuances so that you can create really good solutions that are effective for the people you're designing for. Designing a solution that can scale and can be sustainable over time is also a major challenge. Ethics is another major challenge because some social issues have really sensitive and controversial topics. Some have privacy issues, some have interest issues or conflict of interests. And the final one, which is what we are going to discuss next, is measuring impacts. It's not easy to measure social impact, first of all, because what success is can change from context to context or from community to community. And because social impact is something that takes a long time for you to see the effect, it might be really challenging to measure quickly your impact and see how to improve your solution. So we're going to also continue to add to this level or to this framework the challenges that you might envision that you have when you're solving for the issue that you touched about in the beginning. So now I said we are going to discuss the impact, how to measure impact. There are two levels where of how we can measure impact. The first is the individual and household level. When you're measuring impact on the individual and household level, you can look at the quality of life of the people you have designed a solution for. Are they safer? If the problem is safety, as a standard of living improved, are they adversely affected by the solution, or is it a positive trend, or is it a negative trend? You can also look at the community that you designed for. Do they have better infrastructures due to the solution? Are they prospering positively in the economic sense? What is the viability of the community? This will help you find a more comprehensive way to iterate and adjust your solution for betterment of your social design or social impact project. The tools that you can use for this is you can use analytical tools. You can get data from the community. You can assess the way the community is in relation to other community because of the solution that you've created. For example, if you create a solution for homelessness, as the number of homeless people reduced in the community in relation to other community, what is the quality of life of people, what as the standard of living improves since you created a solution. Do they have homes now? How are the homes that they're living? Is it good? Is it good for the health? Or is it just homes that do have residential roof over their head? You can also observe them and interview them individually and as a community. And you can also use a participatory methods where you bring in the people that you designed for and the professionals who worked on the design and the kind of communication they can role play and see how the solution has worked out for them. So now we have the final 7 blocks of our framework, and we're going to see how we have used this to work on a social impact project. This social impact project that I'm going to speak about is the Tuatuze project in Kenya, where we provide supportive learning for children with learning challenges. The issue is how do we make learning better for children that have challenges learning? When we started, we thought about what are the people that we can involve in that can give us a better understanding of the issues. So we called parents, teachers, education experts, kids, therapists to have a discussion on how we can better make and how we can better and provide how can better and sorry, how we can better provide kids with learning challenges ability to learn better. We looked at the different touch points, it's learning at home or learning at school. This impact falls under the lifestyle impact because it affects the kids' lives themselves. And since education is a psychological, since education is a basic human necessity, it falls under the psychological needs of the master hierarchy. The principle, oh, sorry, the principles that we sorry for that. The principles that we employed when we were working on this project is the human-centeredness, the co-creation, because we spoke with the parents and the teachers and the experts and the therapists to see how best we can create something that will be good for the children, and we also iterated. We looked holistically at the different learning systems of the kids, how they learn at school, how they learn at home, and how the community also influence the learning. The level of change that we chose here was to create something new. We designed learning materials, playbooks, etc. for the parents themselves and the kids. The challenges that we went through when we were designing for this issue was ethics, because children are minors. We had to be very conscious of their privacy, the names and the pictures of them and their parents. We made sure that we use materials that are sustainable over time, because we want the teachers and the parents who get these materials to be able to use them for a long time. And we encountered issues when measuring about measuring the impact, because It's going to take a long time to see if kids are using the materials and are learning with them. How we look forward to assessing this impact is on the individual level to look at the kids that have gotten the materials and how the material has helped them to learn. Also speak to the teachers to see how the materials has been good for them to teach. Is it effective in learning? Is the material okay? Is another way that we can do it? The method that we use to do this assessment is to observe the kids and teachers, is to interview the parents and the teachers and the kids themselves if possible, and to see the parents, the kids, and the teachers in participating using our materials that we have designed. So this is the framework. If you want to design for social impact or want to solve social issues, these are the 7 frameworks that can help you. These are the 7 items of the framework that can help you to design better. Now that you know how to design for social impact, you can go ahead and do good and give back to your community. Thank you.
Skip with the flow, feeling the rhythm, the bounce, remind me, watch a kulala, changamka kiasi, higher basi, up and away we go, from the bottom we rise, look at the light in our eyes, see it, believe it, I see no lies, fast though. Ready or not, we run, skip with the flow, feeling the rhythm, the bounce, remind me, watch a kulala, changamka kiasi, higher basi, up and away we go, from the bottom we rise, look at the light in our eyes, see it, believe it, I see no lies, fast though. Ready or not, we run, skip with the flow, feeling the rhythm, the bounce, remind me, watch a kulala, changamka kiasi, higher basi, up and away we go, from the bottom we rise, look at the light in our eyes, see it, believe it, I see no lies.